את שמך בעולם, לקדש את שמך, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מעלות, ככתוב על יד נביאיך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו, אדוני אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד, אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו, והוא ישמיענו, רחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה, 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 הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. love, holy love, sacred love, abundant love, source of love, let your love shine down on me. From below, from above, love I hope I'm worthy of. Oh, source of love, let your love shine down on me. Before the morning light, I already feel it shining. Before I open up my eyes, I already see it shining. When my road is rough, I can feel your love, and that's enough for me. Blessed love, holy love, sacred love, abundant love, source of love, let your love shine down on me. As above, so below, love from whom all blessings flow. Oh, source of love, let your love shine down on me.
Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to see you all here, and those of you online, we're so happy you're here as well. This is a few safety and courtesy reminders. For safety and courtesy, please silence your cell phones. For security, keep them on, just silence them. And I now would like to direct your attention to all the emergency exits and other safety features. So look for the red and green lights around the sanctuary and the social hall. They tell you where the exit doors are. There are exit doors on each side of the bima that lead to the outside. There are exit doors at the back end of the social hall. And at the side of the sanctuary, where the sliding walls are open, if you're familiar with our building, are the exits to the main doors through which you entered, and exit doors on either side of the lobby. So there are plenty of ways to get out if we need to get out. So right now, look around and find the exit door closest to you, please. Okay. In addition, there's a fire extinguisher and an AED near the water fountain in the hall, and another fire extinguisher inside the doors to the sanctuary where you entered, over there. Also, if you're a visual learner, you may want to take a look at the placard, which should be in the shelf in front of you. In the unlikely event that we have to evacuate, we will meet at the southwest corner of the parking lot, away from the buildings. Thank you so much for all your attention. Enjoy the service.
Shabbat Shalom. I need Shabbat every week, and then it's just been one of those things that with each successive week, I seem to need Shabbat more. What happens during the week, I just seem to be like, oh, I really need Shabbat this week. And then it can't be worse next week. And I need it more next week as it comes. But it's really good to be here with you and with you who are joining us online. We're going to begin on page 24 in our books with Shalom Aleichem.
Malachei Hasharet, Malachei, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Oachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Temple Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu.
One of the joys of celebrating Shabbat is to be able to mark moments in our lives as well. And this Shabbat we get to celebrate with Leo Raphael and his family, and as he becomes bar mitzvah, and that's a joy that we all get to share as a congregation. I'm going to invite Leo's mom, Michelle, up to share a reading before we bless our Shabbat lights. And I'll invite all of you to please rise.
Shabbat Shalom. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
You may be seated. As we turn to L'Chadodi, which you'll find on page 20 and 21, it is our custom to take this time for Hazarat HaShavua, a review of the week, to go back to last Shabbat and then spend just a moment on each day, on its challenges and on its blessings. And then we'll come and sing L'Chadodi together. Deep breath. We'll sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. When we get to verse 9, I invite those in the sanctuary to rise and face the doors from which we entered to welcome the Shabbat presence into the congregation. Those at home to turn towards the doors of your home. And we welcome that nishama yetera, the extra soulfulness that travels with us during Shabbat, into our hearts. Again, pages 20 and 21, L'chadodi.
Kalla, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mehekabbelah, lechadodi likrat kalla, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mehekabbelah, shamor v'zachor, b'dibur echad, Ishmeanu El Hamyuchan Adonai Echad Ushmo Echad B'Shem Ultiferet V'Lit Chila Yechadoti Likrat Kalla Yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat V'Hekabbelah Yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mehekabbelah, likrat Shabbat, lechuven elcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikerem, nesimcha, soma atzeh b'makshva, Shabbat, mehekabbelah, lechadoni likrat kalla, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mehekabbelah, hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orei, kumi ori, uri, uri, Beiri, Kevod Adonai, Alayit Niglan, Lechadoti Likrat Kalla, Yalalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat, Mehekabbelah, Lechadoti Likrat Kalla, Yalalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat, Mehekabbelah.
Please rise, if you're able, and face the doors.
Oi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, bochem u'mei, am segula, boi Yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mehekabbelah, lechadoti likrat kalla, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mehekabbelah.
I was going to say you can remain standing, but we're going to continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 26. I'm going to ask Leo to come lead us. It's okay. Yeah. Wait for him.
Yigadav Yikadash Shemei Rabbah
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yurtei v'yamlich malhutei Bechayechon uvyom echon uvhayedecho beYisrael Bagala Bagala Uvizman Kariv Bemiru Amen Yehei Shemei Rabbah and Barach Le'elam Ulamei Amayah Yibarach V'Yishtabach V'Yipar V'Yitromam V'Yinaseh V'Yihadar V'Yitaleh V'Yihalal Shemei Dekudesha Barichu Le'elela Min Kol Berchata V'Shirata Tush Bechata V'Nechemata Damiran Ba'alma B'Miru Amen.
We continue with Baruch Hu, our call to prayer on page 28. Reading only. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach, Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
You can sit for a minute. Last 3 lines in the Hebrew on page 30.
El Chai v'Kayam Tamidim L'Chaleinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Ata Adonai
Baruch Shemo.
Ha'ma'ariv Ha'ravi.
Amen. Page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery.
Be'ahavatecha Atasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch Ata Adonai
Baruch Shemo.
Oel Amo Yisrael.
Amen. Shema Yisrael is on page 34 or 35. If it's your custom to rise, please do so.
I'm just reading it.
Yeah, in Hebrew first. Go ahead, Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
We continue on page 36 with Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha u'chol nafshecha u'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkuru v'asitem ekol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher totzietchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
Page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it's eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Mi Chamocha, our song of freedom, page 40.
Kamocha, Adonai, mi kamocha, Vedar bakodesh, norati lo, osei feleh. Same thing again. Mi kamocha, Adonai, mi kamocha, Vedar bakodesh, norati lo. Osei feleh. Malchutcha uvanecha bokeam lifnei Moshe uMiriam. Ze Eli anu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha, Elim Adonai, mi chamocha, Nedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot, osei feleh. Norah Nora Tehilot Osei Felet Nora Tehilot Osei Felet V'ne'emar Kifadano na'ed Yaakov Ugalo me'ad Chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai
Baruch Shemo.
Gal Yisrael.
Amen. Page 42. Hashkivenu, we ask the Holy One to shelter us with a sukkah of peace, a shelter of peace, to let us lie down with a sense of shalom each evening, with a sense of wholeness, to let us rise up lechayim with a sense of purpose, to life, to embrace what life has each and every day. Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim ufros alenu sukkot shlomecha ushmos tzedenu uvoenu ufros alenu sukkot shlomecha Ushmo et Seitenu Uvoenu Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim Baruch atah Adonai Haporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim
Page 44, we give thanks for Shabbat. Shabbat is a gift, gives us a pause in our week, time to take a breath, time to connect with the deepest parts of ourselves, with community, with God. Time perhaps to reframe the world around us in different ways, to re-energize ourselves, a day that we stop working the world so that we can re-energize ourselves, so that we can go back out into the world and help to transform it. Vishamru, giving thanks for Shabbat, page 44.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat aso et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat aso et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael Oti leolam, oti leolam, oti Israel et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. Turn to page 46, and I'm going to invite Leo to come up and lead us. Invite everybody who's able to please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu b'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Hasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Haste Avot B'Mahod, Umevi Gula Livnei V'Nehem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye HaKol atah Rav LaHoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofech Olim Umatir Asurim Kaim Emunato Lishenei Afar Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot Umidom Elah Melech Memid Chaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye hakol.
Page 52. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen.
Please take a few moments for the text of your own heart, or you can use the words of the prayer book through 62, 63. When you're through, please be seated.
Shabbat Shalom. Composer Meyer Finkelstein, who is very much with us still, is probably one of the most esteemed and celebrated Jewish composers on the circuit today. He has to his credit nearly 200 settings of Jewish liturgy, settings of the Jewish liturgy. And what I thought was really interesting that I didn't know when I was doing some research from Dr. Wikipedia is that he is a Hollywood film composer and arranger. And he has written movie scores for some very famous TV films, movie serials such as Dallas and Falcon Crest. So he is multi-talented on many levels. And he has had many, many posts over the years. He is most well known for his tenure at Sinai Temple in Los Angeles, where he served for 18 years. And he has since moved on. And according to this article, and Cantor, correct me if I'm wrong, he's currently at a congregation in Houston, Texas. Is that still?
That's one of his stops, yes.
Okay, well, it just says he's been there since 2013, so I don't know. So this is one of his most celebrated compositions, La Dor Vador, from generation to generation, aptly chosen because of the bar mitzvah coming up tomorrow, La Dor Vador.
Thank you, Dr. Polovoy. So I mentioned that we get to mark different times in people's lives, and that includes people's comings and goings from our community. I'd like to invite Dina and Art Benjamin to come on up. Dina and Art are about to leave for a year-long travels around the world. And anybody who is connected to TBI, come. You don't have to come too close, but you can come, to here, yeah. Anybody who's connected to TBI, of course, knows Dina and Art in different kinds of ways. And Art has helped with our magic night for a long time and has been involved in Brotherhood and various things. And of course, Dina is our immediate past president, and before that, social action and VP of programs and lots of other kinds of things. And there's a whole lot of stuff that Dina's been helping us manage through this time. And of course, after having been the president through the first episode of the first part of the pandemic, Laura gets the second piece of the pandemic. It's a well-deserved Hafsakah break from Temple life, and for both of you, just a wonderful opportunity, and we're so happy that you get to take this time and to travel. In Jewish tradition, we actually have a prayer called Tefilat HaDerech, a prayer for the journey, and so I'll offer that to you at this time, along with our good wishes that this is a wonderful journey of growth and of learning and of connection. The past, you've taken your longer trips, but you've had kids with you and stuff. This is like just the two of you, so that's really cool. All right, so Yurat Som Milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu shetolichenu l'shalom v'tatzlichenu l'shalom. May it be your will, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, that you guide Dina and Art safely on their journeys, that you lead them on their paths in peace, that you allow them to reach their desired destinations with life and joy and peace. Protect them from all obstacles along their way and bestow blessings on all the works of their hands, and grant grace, loving kindness, and compassion to them, and in the eyes of all who they encounter along the way. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who watches over us on our journeys. And I hope that you take a little of us with you on your journeys, and take with you the love and appreciation of Temple Beth Israel, and that you come back with some really great stories to share with us from this year of adventure, and we look forward to being able to share in that the bounty of the harvest of your stories on the and adventures on the other side. May your journey be filled with shalom in your going and in your coming back, with wholeness and with peace along the way. Nisiat Tova, wonderful journey to all of you.
So in addition to Dina and Art's year-long sojourn, our rabbi is going to be taking a briefer sojourn along with his wife Karen, so he will be away for us for about 10 days starting after Sunday. So I invite you all to turn to page 345 and join with me in the Debbie Friedman version of Tefilat HaDerech, the prayer for journey, and may Art and Dina and Rabbi and all who travel this summer do so in safety and in love.
I'm going to let it be for everybody who's going to be taking journeys, so I'm going to step back a little bit here.
May you be blessed as you go on your way. May you be guided in peace. May you be blessed with health and joy. May this be your blessing. Amen. Everybody join on the amen. 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 May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 your blessing. Amen. May you be sheltered by the wings of peace. May you be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to your soul. May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be your blessing. Amen.
So I've been having this challenge. I've shared it with you, those of you who are regulars in recent weeks, is that I think early in the week about what I'm going to talk about, and then things happen in the world, and I have to reshape what I'm going to say, either because I think that's what people's minds are on, or because I can't think of anything else myself at that moment, and it's occupying my own thoughts along the way. And like so many of you, I've been feeling for some time the weight of the Dobbs decision, fully anticipating its outcome, particularly after the leak. But I'm finding that the reality of its release today has a heaviness and a devastation and an anger that is challenging to put into words. The opening to the dissent is perhaps a good starting place. It says, "With sorrow for this court, but more for the many millions of American women who have today lost a fundamental constitutional protection, we dissent." Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, Breyer. So I will just start out by giving my own personal gloss on this. I dissent. That's my first gloss. But here's the thing. It's Shabbat right now, and Rabbi Shai Held reminds us that Shabbat is in large part about remembering that the world can be other than what it presently is. Shabbat comes to help us remember that in addition to action, our bodies need to rest and renew. It's a day of looking around and noticing what is good and whole in the world. A couple of things I've already mentioned today, but we get to celebrate with a wonderful young man and his family as he celebrates becoming bar mitzvah. We get to gather with community. We get to bless people as they go on their journeys. We get to spend time on Shabbat with family and friends. In the midst of stuff that might really press down upon us, it's important also to be lifted up and remember on Shabbat the good and the whole that does exist around us all the time. As my friend Anat Hoffman of the Israel Religious Action Center has written, she's written, "We cannot wring our hands and roll up our sleeves at the same time." She would say, so it's time to get to work. In this week's parashah, Torah portion, Moses sends the scouts to check out the land and to come back and give a report. And Moses sends one scout from each tribe, and they come back, and 10 of them come back with a negative report, and 2 of them, Jacob and Caleb, come back with a positive report. In the negative report, they say, it is a land that's beautiful and flowing with milk and honey and giant grapes that grow on the vines and all these kinds of things. But the people there are giants, and we look like grasshoppers compared to them. And Caleb and Joshua say, it might be tough, but if we work together and with God's help, we can enter the land. We can conquer the land. And to me, and of course in the story, what it means is that they're already at the threshold of the land here, 16 weeks or so after Sinai in the biblical narrative. But now they're going to have to wait 40 years because they don't think they can do it. They need a generation of people who think that they can do it so that they're actually able to conquer the land. And Caleb and Joshua, I guess because they had that faith and that belief in themselves at the time, they get to, they're the only ones of that group who live to enter the land. They live that next generation and get to enter the land. But I also read this sometimes as a psychological narrative. I mean, I don't know about you, but there are many times that I've felt like a grasshopper in the face of giants. And I don't necessarily mean people and myself, but I felt as powerful as a grasshopper in the face of what seems to be insurmountable before me. And I think we've all felt that in different ways in our lives at different times. Caleb and Joshua understand that there's power in them together, that there's more that they can do than they might believe at that moment. And so I was reflecting on that and perhaps my own deflation and powerlessness at this moment. But we have to balance that with sometimes that standing in that place of not feeling powerful, we actually then shrink our power even more. We step back and we say, there's nothing that I can do. And we take a step back and we give up the power we do have to influence policy and to vote and to tell our stories and to get engaged and to shape our world. Rabbi Jill Zimmerman wrote today, "At moments like this, when the flames of justice and hope can feel like they are flickering out, there's an ironic comfort in Jewish history, and its reminder that progress moves in waves and currents. 2,000 years ago, Rabbi Tarfon looked out at his world and saw his people devastated by generations of Roman occupation and destruction. He saw justice subverted at every turn by a politics determined to bend the people to its will. And he lived in a reality where meaningful, substantive reform and change was the project of generations, not of a single lifetime. Yet despite the seemingly impossibility of it, Rabbi Tarfon's response to a world starving for dignity was to make us swear that no matter how hard the work, no matter how impossible it might seem to shift the currents of history, we must never stop trying. He said, Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, v'lo ata lehibatel mimena. You are not obligated to complete the work or the task, he said nearly 2,000 years ago. But neither are you allowed to desist from it. So, holding Rabbi Tarfon today, trying to remember that we're created, perhaps, for moments like these and for this task, that most importantly, the generations yet to come are counting on us to do the slow, sacred work of building the future in our country and in our world that our grandchildren and great-grandchildren deserve. Leonard Cohen wrote, "Ring the bells that still can ring, forget your perfect offering. There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in." It's time to roll up our sleeves and get to work, and it's not something just for tomorrow, but for the days and weeks and years ahead. We have lots to do. I hope that we'll all find partners in the work that we need to do. together. Shabbat Shalom.
So a few years ago, our friend Chris Gacci, a member of our community, brought a song to us that we have shared together each Pride Month since then, and since this is the last Shabbat in Pride Month, I'd intended to offer it this evening, but I think given the words and the story behind this song, it is even more appropriate given the news of the day, and for me at least, and probably for you as well, much of the news of the week, which has emphasized that we are, as the song says, a gentle yet angry people. Gentle because we believe, as Rabbi so beautifully put it, that the arc of history bends towards justice, and that as a community, as a people, as a movement in progressive Judaism that has championed many of the causes that were dealt with in sort of an opposite way this week by various entities in our country. I think my prayer is that for us this song will help re-energize our efforts to perform tikkun, to perform repair, to change the world in all of those areas that so desperately need it. And it's an easy song. As I mentioned, we are a gentle, angry people. I'll change the beginning of each verse, but you'll pick up the rest pretty quickly. Please join Randy and I. We are a gentle, angry people, and we're singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we're singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we're singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we're singing for our lives. Young and old, we are young and old together, and we're singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we're singing for our lives. Land of many colors, we are a land of many colors, and we're singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we're singing for our lives. Gay and straight together, we are gay and straight together, and we're singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we're singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we're singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we're singing for our lives. Our lives.
we turn to page 261. As we are you ready? Blessing for the month? Okay. Are we going to do this prayer? Oh, yeah, we could do that first. That would be work. All right. Either would work. All right. So let's turn to page 253 first. As we offer a prayer for healing for all those in need of healing of body, of mind, and of spirit.
Holy One, who blessed our mothers, who blessed our fathers from ancient days, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names. Akadosh Baruch Yimalei Rachamim Aleichem Lehachzikam Ulerapeutam Veishlach Lahem Refuah Shlema Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf B'toch Sha'ar Cholei Yisrael. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their name.
We ask for blessings upon Rebecca Gilman, Hannah Fields Austin, Sue Tobak, Rosin Lefkowitz, Helen Weinfeld, Pam Poliakoff, Connie Shapiro, Kathy Blumenfeld, Caitlin Antrim, Kathy Brewster, Jennifer Rudin, Marion Snyders, Brad Holland, Serena Postal, Bobby Kay, Marilyn Freeman, Robert Strober, Marilyn Lubarsky, Ellery Einstein, Patricia Kramer, Joan Morse, Nomi Kravitz, Craig Sachs, Simon Saul, Blair Pollock, Myra White, Lori Snyder, Jeremy Knoller, Charity Razaday, Mike Klein, Lily Morrison, Sari Kojman, Richard Handley, Barbara Fass, Joel Beasy, Burton Gershman, Carol Berlant, Janet Barong, Paula Steinbach, David Bush, Howard Bush, Dana Sundin, Lawson Spicer, Mark Fenton, Gloria Foster, Rita Warshaw, Ira Quatcher, Robert Gerard, Brian Seffer, Stuart Mann, Adele Harris, and
Akadosh Baruch Yimalei Rachamim Aleichem. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names. Now page 260.
261, middle of the page. Our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us goodness and blessing. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good.
Rosh Chodesh Tammuz, Yeh B'Yom Chamishi.
The new month of Tammuz will begin on Thursday. And now I'd like to invite our temple president, Laura Zuckerman, up to share some announcements with you.
Shabbat Shalom again. Lovely to see you all, both here and online. Usually, the person doing the Bima honors thanks the rabbi and the cantor and thanks Randy. But tonight, they painted a picture that deserves a special note, which is Randy's, first of all, musical teaching and beautiful rendition of Le Dor Vador. And the rabbi's truly moving and meaningful sermon, followed by the cantor's wonderful song about who we are, really painted a picture of who we are as Jews, who we are as Temple Beth Israel, and who we aspire to be. So thank you all very much. Thank you to Claudia Gonzalez, who handles the technology and as always makes it look so easy. And as you came in, you were greeted by, in the driveway, by two board members, Neil Gerard and Toyasha Sabag, in the heat, keeping us safe. Thank you. And our cheerful outdoor greeters, Kylie Sykes and Joan Gerard. And our helpful and cheerful indoor greeters, Sharon Regalado and Sarah Truitt. Thank you all for your loyalty and being here so often. Thank you to Leo, Raphael, who will become Bar Mitzvah, as you've heard, and are welcome to join us tomorrow for leading us in prayer. And to the Raphael family, Mazel Tov, and for providing the Oneg refreshments we will enjoy later. So just a little word about who we are and some special events. I'll try to be quick. So as you know, we are a very active community here in the Inland Empire. And please join us, if you're online or here, in the many activities we provide and will be providing. So check out our website, our Facebook page, our weekly update, and our monthly kahila, and the lobby tables for all the things that we are providing and would love you to participate in. So here are just a few things coming up. In all those things I mentioned, please be on the lookout for our wonderful Shabbats, Shabbats Beneath the Stars out on our great lawn with this year with a bring your own Shabbat picnic for us to enjoy together starting at 6 p.m. and the dates start a little later in July. And here's an opportunity for some Tikkun Olam. July 6th, the American Red Cross Blood Drive will be here from 9 to 3. If you are able to give blood, it is a great mitzvah. And I thank Joan Reyes and Mikey Ryan for coordinating that. One other thing, WTBI, our wonderful, lively women of Temple Beth Israel, has planned a particularly full and lively and fun program of events this summer. You will be amazed when you look at the various things I've mentioned. Finally, on a little bit more of a business note, July 1 begins our new year for the board and for our budget year, and that sustains us. So we have been fortunate to have many, many congregant households already sent in their annual commitment. And if you have, thank you so much. And if you haven't, please move it to the top of that stack on your desk, if you would. Finally, after the service, please join us in the social hall for motzi and kiddush, refreshments, and conversation. One more thing, in the Temple Beth Israel way, try to speak with at least one person you don't know. You never know what you might learn. Shabbat Shalom.
We're now going to move toward the conclusion. We're now going to move toward the conclusion of our service on page 282. That's not the conclusion of the service, but that's where we're turning. For Aleinu L'Shabeach, I invite those who are able to please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשינו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגאור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשפח אבינו מודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Bottom of 287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
You may be seated. Page 294. Take a moment to remember those who have been important in our lives and have left this earth, those who have died in recent days or in this time in years past. And for those of you who are at home, if you have people who you're thinking about, you want to put them in the chat and share them with the online community, feel free to do that. Remember the recent death of Edward Schneider, father of Tammy Schneider. Remember the Yortzites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Sanford Arnold, Harry Estrin, Molly Kay, Ida Schall, Jean Schaefer, Adele Smolin, Rebecca Harris, Shulamit Shabtai, Dr. Myron Michael Glovsky, Julia Cooperberg, Patricia Milmir, Ann Unger, Sam Braverman, Ezra Beldner, Joseph Pavlotsky, Aaron Salzman, Evelyn Woljan, Zachary Champonier, Audrey Durso, Alan Gershman, Morris Lentz, David Lewis, I. John Movich, Louis Rothbart, Alan Silverman, Joseph Bogg, Alan Davis, Alexander Donin, Timothy Gant Sr., Isidore Ort, and Marie Plax. If you're remembering somebody on the Shabbat, would like to add a name to those that are mentioned or restate a name I've mentioned, please do so as I come by your row. If you're in a time of mourning or observing a Yortzeit on the Shabbat, I invite you to please rise. And I invite the rest of the congregation, if it's your custom, to rise and embrace and support of those who mourn Again, Kaddish is on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bialma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shmei dikudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechmata. Da'amiram bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be a blessing. Page 321, bottom of the page.
Be'ado
Avkin ruchi.
Nishan ve'ayira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo yira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo yira.
My soul I give to you.
My soul I give to you.
My spirit in your care.
My spirit in your care.
Draw me near, I shall not fear.
Draw me near, I shall not
Hold me in
fear.
your hand.
Hold me in your hand.
Draw me near, I shall not fear.
Draw me near, I shall not fear.
Safely in your hand.
Safely in your hand.
My
Be'ado
avki. My spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear.
Adonai li ve'lo yira.
Draw me near, I shall not fear.
Adonai li ve'lo yira. My soul I give to you. My spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your
Shabbat Shalom. For those of you in the sanctuary, please join us in the social hall for Kiddush and Motzi and refreshments. For those of you online, thank you so much for being with us. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.